Sound check. Sound check.
Yeah, it looks like it's 6 too, so if we want to, Elaine, if you want to take roll.
Okay. Ryan Mann. Brett Gerger.
Present.
Paul Scherzel.
Present.
Paul Packelhofer.
Present.
Dan Lewis.
Present.
Okay, so Ryan Mann is not there yet.
Correct.
Okay.
So as far as the consent agenda, do we have the minutes to be approved from last time?
February 10th.
Yep. Anybody have a motion to bring it forward?
I'll make that motion.
And who is this?
That was trustee
Who is-
Scherzel.
Paul Scherzel, okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Who's that?
Paul Packelhofer seconding. Any discussion on the minutes? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Like the ayes have it. So, to get the meeting started, we brought Lee Bloom today. I kind of wanted to ask him a couple of questions, and you guys could ask a couple of questions too. My two were concerning where are we at with the bonding, and then where are we at with the chloramine. So, Lee, if you could give the group an update, that'd be great.
Sure. When Pat invited me to the meeting, he kind of gave me a heads up on these two items. So I asked Steve Biven about an update on the chloramines, the analyzer that we haven't been having the issues with just recently arrived. He spoke with Eric, the Hawk rep. He said to let him know when it is reinstalled and rewired. He was going to get with Joel Lee and schedule when he could come out and get that wired up and connected. Regarding our transfer switch, he's also been in contact with Kelly from Cincinnati Insurance. She's been trying to get an update for the last week. And no new news on that. So regarding the bonds, we did receive a update from our bond company. You scroll down here.
So, Lee, before we go into the bonds, do we have an insurance claim into our transfer switch?
Yes, we do. The transfer switch, along with a power pole down to the well field, was damaged during a tornado, and we've filed a claim, and it's just been painfully slow trying to get everything repaired. And
Is Kelly an adjuster?
we had to send the original transfer switch off to have an independent company review it, see if it could be repaired. After a long time, they came back and said it could not be repaired. And then Cincinnati still wanted to have somebody else go over there and look at it. So, I mean, we're still at trying to get a new transfer switch built to go out there. Currently, we have a manual transfer switch, and we have staffing out there in the event that there is a power outage, that they'll be there to flip the switch so we don't lose pressure.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions regarding that, the chloramine and transfer switch? Paul and Dan?
Those are my two main questions.
We received an update regarding the bonds from Bernardi Securities. Received that Thursday, April 9th. And this is, I'll just read you the update. I want to give you both an update on where things stand. Illinois is slowly starting to see high-grade paper push into the primary market. We priced an insured A-rated deal yesterday at plus 90 basis points over the market index. A month ago, this deal would have priced plus 60 to 70 basis points over the index. Market remains very choppy since certain large institutional funds hit on the chin over the past 5 weeks. Having to cover margins created massive outflows from munis to cash. So that means there's bad liquidity in the market. It went on to say that there are a few large deals scheduled to price in Illinois over the next 2 weeks. If these deals price, and if that's a big if, it will provide clarity to us where South Sangamon Water Commission should price in the market. At that time, we would put out feelers to investors and inform you of where your savings stand. So, that's our current statement.
So Lee, in other words, we just wait, correct?
Correct. They're constantly reviewing, who's selling bonds, what bond sales are out there, and just seeing how the market reacts to them at this point. One of the things that we asked them is, nobody wants to get into a long-term bond that's not going to give them very much interest. And I said, well, currently the mortgage industry is raising rates because of demand. Can't we do the same thing? And he said, well, it's not an apples to apples. Yeah, that would be a possibility, but there's no liquidity. Everybody's cash poor right now, so there's nobody to buy the bonds. So yeah, we're just waiting to hear from them when they feel that the market would be interested in our bonds. It's every 2 week type update unless something breaks free and they feel that it's time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, what will happen is if they find it favorable, they'll come back to you, tell you the savings, and then you decide whether you want to enter it or not.
That's correct.
Okay.
All the other paperwork is set. We're good to go.
Okay.
We did have a letter out to the bondholders. Pat had called me about this, saying that they were going to be recalled. We since have sent another letter out stating that they would not be recalled at this time. That was just part of the process of us preparing to sell the bonds.
Right.
But since that's not happening, we had to recall that.
Okay.
Just to let the board know, we are being very cautious with the COVID-19. We're running staggered shifts at the plants, only one operator at a time. That operator is wiping down the office and equipment with bleach wipes prior to leaving and the next person coming on board. So, we're monitoring, making sure everybody is prepared. They have provisions in the event that they have to sequester there. We thought about purchasing cots. Steven says that they didn't go the cot route. They've got air mattresses if need be. So it comes to that.
So too, Lee, the Work Comp Commission is pursuing an emergency rule right now that would say that it'll open the door for people making claims for the COVID-19 exposure at work. So normally those type of claims are denied by the commission. They're going to accept these claims now, which is, it's a pretty good reach, because if I work at, say, Walmart and I stop between work and home at Wendy's to get my meal, since I didn't get it from Wendy's, well, the Work Comp Commission is going to say that I got it from Walmart. But it's evolving now, and other groups are involved, so I'll keep everybody updated where we are with that.
So I got another question just to follow that, Lee. So if you had one of your colleagues out there, Dick, do you have a backup plan in terms of what would happen if we had one or two Dick out there?
If anybody came down with symptoms, we'd probably have a professional disinfecting company come in and clean the place out. I've got several contacts through the CICI, the Chemical Industry Council of Illinois. They come in and they can sanitize the plant, and we'd have the remaining personnel, man the plant. We've got 3 staff right now, one of which probably could not run the plant on her own. She's still learning. But day-to-day operation, each of the 3 employees can handle just normal routine items. There is some emails from Illinois Rural Water. We're a member of that. So, if we did need to have an operator come in, we could probably pull them and have somebody come in. But for now, everybody's just practicing social distancing and just not putting themselves out there to get exposed.
Okay, thanks, Lee.
It's not as bad. My brother works for National Grid out in New York, and they've sequestered all the grid operators. They brought RVs on site, and they're separated from their families. They prepare their meals. It's pretty serious for the power grid.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's good. Any other questions for Lee? All right. Well, thank you so much, Lee, for
Sure.
attending and keeping us updated. As soon as you hear anything about the core meetings, let us know, because we'd like to have that switch, because you probably would like to have it over as well.
Yeah. We will be holding our next meeting virtually as well.
Okay.
We've worked through our attorney to get the proper language, and so that'll be posted here end of the week, and we'll give it a try. Hopefully it works.
All right.
We'll be passing the budget at that time.
Okay. Be gentle.
Well, since we haven't sold the bonds, we're going to run the budget with the 2020, 2021 bond payments in it. So.
Okay.
That's just, other than that, that's the only big change over what we had on the draft one.
All right. Hopefully
we should be okay. We should be okay this year with no rate changes. Again, we're being very conservative with our capital program this year.
And next year's where we could see something if we don't see bond relief.
I'd have to take a look. I haven't wrapped up the final numbers yet. But if it is, I'll let the committee know.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can I jump off?
Yeah, go ahead. Thanks, Lee.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
So next we were going to discuss the village's policy with regards to this COVID-19, what we're doing for citizens, what the village is doing for citizens, and that. Pat, if you could kind of give us an update what we're doing.
Well, all of our employees are still working. We're trying to practice social separation. So we call them in or schedule them out ahead of time. So like we have a different person driving the street sweeper every day, and different crews have been working on fixing potholes. The water department has still been installing taps and replacing meters outside. They're not going in anyone's homes. And the electric department's been troubleshooting and taking care of some of these windstorms that have been coming through and knocking some poles down and stuff like that. The police are on full regular schedule. And as far as administrative staff, Sherry and Kayla have been working half days at home. They come in when they have to deal with some of the stuff that's here and pick up mail and go through it. Jill's been working in and outs most of the time she's here, and I've been working here full time. Ryan Crawford's still taking care of inspections and building permits, and Shane and Dustin are overseeing the parks and the streets, the water and the electric. The parks are in, most of the guys, that aren't being used in the water right now or the streets, we've been flipping them over to the parks because we aren't bringing any summer help in right now. So those guys have been working out of the parks and mowing to try to keep everything down and looking nice in the spring here, so that if people can come back and play games and use facilities, that they're spruced up and looking nice.
But one question that I got from the citizen, Pat, was when we're putting these new meters in, if they don't have, I don't know if there's a part that goes on your water heater or a pressure type valve thing, and these new meters cause the inside piping to burst.
Has anybody's inside pipe burst? If they have, I don't think we've been told that.
Okay. This person, it was, I guess they have piping come under the concrete into the building, and they didn't have something on their water heater, some kind of pressure valve that you have to have with these new meters. Is there something that you're checking to make sure people have those?
I would recommend that if there's a person that this has happened to, that they call Dustin Patterson, and he will help them through it. But I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. I would hope they would have already called, but I'll make sure that they have.
I would hope so too.
They have. All right. I'll call you offline after this then.
Okay. Oh, the other thing is the office, the girls are working in the office across the street. They're still processing all the utility bills. They're still putting the billings together from month to month from the meter readers. They've been also working at different times so that they're not all here at the same time. So.
And so like I talked about earlier, just realize that if any of the staff gets COVID, it could come back to be a work comp claim now. So make sure they're doing hygiene and all that stuff. What are we doing? I'm sure all of us are curious. What are we doing for people that are having troubles, that have been laid off, furloughed, whatever, their different businesses are doing and they're having trouble? What are we doing there?
Well, we haven't run into that problem. We haven't had to lay anybody off. And I think everybody's appreciative of the way that we're handling this and trying to take care of them all. I've had more than one employee thank me for the approach that we're doing. But they're also getting antsy and sitting home. So the days that they come to work, they're pretty excited about being here.
What are we doing about the village residents, though, that may have been laid off? And
the village is not turning off anybody's utilities right now, and we are not putting any penalties on anyone's bills. If a person is having trouble paying their bill, or they're in a circumstance where they don't have any income coming in, if they call the office and talk to any of the girls over there, they're all trained in being able to handle that. They will work out something with each one of them.
Have we had many people call?
There's a few, but not as many as you would think.
Well, that's good that people are calling at least that need the help. Do you guys have any input concerns?
The March billings came through normal. We actually had more people pay on time than they did in February. But the bills aren't due till the 16th, and then you got 5 days after that. So I'll know more how May or how the April bills are going to come in at that time. So.
Pat, is our the new phone system that we talked about, is this the first month that could potentially be used?
We have not sent any phone calls out using that new phone system because we're not shutting anybody off. We are still going through the process that anybody that calls in, we verify that we've got their most up-to-date phone number. And if anybody has recently changed their phone numbers, if they could contact the village and let them know that their phone number has been changed, preferably during the day. The dispatchers are busy at night, and we've had a few people call in the evening to tell them that their phone number's changed, and they can't really go into the billing system and change it. But if they could call sometime during the regular office hours, that would be better.
I didn't know if you'd use it just for reminders, not necessarily like, say you're shutting it off, but just to, for anyone who's like, oh, I forgot. If you use it for reminders.
We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
Paul and Dan, you have any questions, concerns?
Nope, you asked all the questions that I had.
Yeah, same here.
So, the only thing I'd like to reiterate is that people go to the village with everything we said about utilities. Go to the village and work with the ladies. They work with you. And if you're not getting satisfaction that way, then definitely reach out to the people on this committee or the trustees, and then we can walk through case by case to try to work with Pat to see what happens. But that's the biggest piece of advice is you've got a problem, call the village. Like Pat said, they're willing to work with everybody, and we're not doing shut-offs, and appreciate it.
And the other thing that you can do me a favor is if you do call the village and you're unhappy with the service, make sure you know the name of the person that you're talking to, because that way it's easier for me to be able to track that down than to just say, well, I talked to one of the girls in the office and she was very rude to me or something like that. Our girls aren't rude, but they do get frustrated at times.
Understandable. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Anything else from everybody? I see Dan, I see you've got a good COVID beard going. Mine's patchy. Tackle Hopper, you don't look like you've been sequestered. There's no COVID beard. You're probably out calling balls and strikes in the front yard, aren't you?
I wish.
All right.
On the camera though, it looks like, Brett, that your hair, you haven't gone to the store and got hair dye like Paul has. So, because for somebody his age and to be that brown,
yeah, my hair color is daughter. That's my hair color. Paul will have his growing up here. He'll have gray hair shortly, Mr. Short.
I meant Paul Peckelhofer.
It's creeping up. I'm just a little behind you.
All right, well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion.
Mr. Lewis, seconded by Mr. Peckelhofer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ash.
Have a good night.
Good night. Take care. Everybody take care.
You too.
Thanks, Elaine.
Okay. Bye.